Hi, this is Matt Refke at Toronto Comicon. I am here with the Archer crew. Can you please introduce yourselves?
I'm Sterling Archer from ISIS.
Of course.
Katya.
Barry and other Barry.
Lana Kane.
All right. Okay, so what are you guys up to at today's Comic-Con?
Well, we're looking after this table for Northern Panic cosplay.
So our cause today is Sketch. So basically Northern Panic was built up by myself, Northern Belle Cosplay, and my cohort Don't Panic Cosplay. And basically we run various events both at convention centers, so tables like you see. What we ran yesterday was sort of similar to a duck pond game, where for $2 people could pull, instead of a duck, a cupcake, as we were dressed as two broke girls, where in the TV sitcom they sell cupcakes. So you could flip a cupcake, and on the bottom it had listed comic books, toys, or prints, and basically people could win prizes at the table, and then all of the money is being donated to Sketch. And Sketch is a Toronto-based initiative that is a community arts initiative, and they serve youth who are either homeless or living on the margins to experience the transformative powers of the arts. So not only do they offer art classes, but they also offer self-sustaining classes, things like cooking skills, business skills, etc. So they're a great organization, and because they are so connected with art as cosplayers, we felt it was important to support them.
Naturally. I also noticed there's something here about putting the waste in the right place. Would you like to talk about that? I read it. I thought it was a great initiative.
Indeed. So we also like to host events in the city that are not just convention-based. While we like running the tables, we do things like 2 weeks ago we did Cause Skate for a Cure, where we raised money for breast cancer research, and we went skating down all in costume, which was great for the kids. Coming up in May, as you've noticed, we have our Cosplay City Cleanup, and this is actually going to be a competition between London and Toronto. So Don't Panic is running the London team, I'll be running the Toronto team, and we're having a competition to see who can get the biggest pile of garbage. So we're going to be cleaning out, we've each picked a park, we'll be cleaning out the parks and then taking photographs at the end to see who cleaned up their park better. So a friendly competition and a way to give back, and then it's also a gorgeous park to take photo shoots in afterwards, which is wonderful for cosplayers.
Perfect, yeah, and then there's no real loser here, because no matter what we clean up, yeah, that's the key. So that's great, and you guys, Toronto Comic-Con, you're here representing this good cause. How often do you visit Comic-Cons or conventions in general?
As many conventions as I can. I'm down to one a month now, but last year I did 4 in 1 month.
4 in 1 month? That's it's a little more active than I am, but that's great. I totally understand it, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I try and get out to as many conventions as I can, but I'm also a student, so there's also a certain amount of time that there's just only so many hours in the day, and then of course if you're working to debut a new cosplay, the amount of time and energy and effort that goes into making each of those. But that being said, I would say probably about the same, generally one a month to that end, because we also host the outside convention events. We tend to be dressing up usually every other week, so every other weekend or so we're in costume doing something.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Yeah, about once a month, but as we're Northern Panic, it's about every 2 weeks that we're in costumes and running events.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Anywhere you see her, I'm usually there. I'm usually just part of her costume. But yeah, I mean, primarily it's been like GTA based, but we're looking to branch out and start going to other conventions and other scenes, so it should be interesting and fun.
Okay, perfect. And your favorite part about these conventions, your favorite thing? Is it just the community interaction, just seeing and
It feels really great to be around like-minded people that love to do exactly what we do. And like the first couple of cons I ever went to, I didn't even dress up. I just wore a Batman shirt and walked around, and it was good. But you get a real different experience when you're in costume, and the people treat you like gold, and it's just a great feeling and a great experience.
You feel stranger when you're not in costume at a con a lot of times. You get more weird looks when you're not in costume, I think. Yeah.
It's one of those, if you're always a muggle, a muggle is a term we like to use for people who aren't necessarily con goers or yeah, exactly, are in their street clothes. And if that's your style, that's totally great. But if you've done cosplay, it's going back after cosplay, because you literally, as a cosplayer, depending on the character you pick, so many people are so excited to see you, and it's almost that little bit of, I don't want to say celebrity, but that idea, everybody knows who you are because of your clothes, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so to have that moment of people get all excited, and then to walk around in your civvies afterwards and nobody cares at all who you are because you're one of
Exactly.
all
I don't know how many times I've had a conversation with somebody in costume, and then the very next day, some strange person comes up to me and starts acting like they know me and they're my best friend, and I'm like, excuse me, who are you? I was the Splinter from yesterday. My apologies. I am so sorry, bud. Let's catch up again. And it's quite the real secret identity problem.
The Splinter one especially, I mean, it must be tough to identify Splinter without the costume. You're from Ninja Turtles, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, but, you know, as Archer, I'm sure some people recognize you. But you
Exactly.
probably toned down some of Archer's character traits, right?
I have a loud voice, so I try to keep it down a little bit. Like I screamed Lana earlier, and it was everyone kind of got quiet, and it was like dead silent here for a bit. But
Yeah.
I went a little overboard.
That's cool.
I would say that there's a good reason we're all cast for our characters
Yeah,
sometimes.
Exactly. We try to stay within our strengths, body type and or color scheme, hair color, that sort of thing. I've dyed my hair. He's wearing a wig. Like we do what we can to look like what we're attempting to pull off.
Okay.
But sometimes it's also nice when you have natural features or physicalities that
What can I
just,
say?
you know,
I'm genetically
go
blessed.
with it.
Or personality traits. you know.
Personality traits.
Yeah.
Okay. So as like this crew, are there any special moments apart from Lana, you know, that you've had together at the con, portraying the Archer crew?
Not as of yet. Basically, I just get everyone gets the joke with me drinking a flask and telling everyone to just hold on, and they like that. But we haven't really had a chance to script up anything. We're never close enough to. So, but she was looking for me.
Screaming Lana at me all day long, so I've just been responding with what?
That's great. You mentioned to me that you dressed up in other costumes before.
Well,
You
actually,
mentioned-
I'm the London Batman. Actually, I'm from London originally, and I saw Toronto Batman put Toronto in front of Batman, so I thought, okay, I'll do London, and then everyone else started bunching up Niagara Batman and Brampton Batman and everyone like that. So it kind of works out.
You are the London Batman then.
The London Batman,
All right.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, you were here yesterday in the bat suit. All right.
Costume, and I have a blue belt, and I wear the white contact lenses. That really works well with like everyone. They really get creeped out by the comic book aspect of having white eyes. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know, when Batman has white eyes, it's because he's using his night vision, right?
Yeah, exactly. His cowl is supposed to be some sort of like HUD, heads-up display type thing, and they never really explained it in the comic books. I think it was just laziness. They didn't want to draw the pupils in, and it adds it more scary kind of a thing. So,
of course.
and and like I've been trying for years. Like I had white contacts that had a hole in the middle, and it made my eyes look creepy, but it really wasn't the same effect. It's kind of like what Hal Jordan looked like in the Green Lantern movie.
Okay.
Didn't really work that well, but then when I discovered these whiteout contacts, which I actually learned from my friend Tanis, she was wearing this amazing picture there, that Phoenix.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I was absolutely blown away that she had her eyes, and I immediately assumed it was computer generated. It was completely done over in post-production. And she's like, no, they're contact lenses. And she told me where I should look for them, and I found them, and they have completely transformed my cosplay. Like, it is so much more better now with those white contacts.
I think it's a layer of detail that not everybody would think of or go to the distance.
I think that's what it makes us all the elite cosplayers, is we always try to get that one thing that's just perfect and no one can touch it. Like my Captain Jack costume was the force field manipulator thing. I found that, and I bumped into so many other Jacks, and they don't have that, and they're so envious of my prop. They'll make their own, and it looks good, it's amazing, but when you have that one piece that just pulls the whole costume together, everything just falls into place.
Agreed. Any costumes that you'd like to mention that you've had before?
Well, both Don't Panic and I we're avid cosplayers, so as we mentioned, in costumes every other weekend. So we've done a lot of different superheroes. We did Phoenix and Rogue together for a while, and also this was our Gambit, and so that became a normal routine as a Marvel team. We've also done, as a set, Khaleesi and Drogo. As a set, we did Josie and the Pussycats. So there are a lot of different cosplay. Yes, he was not our third Pussycat. I promise you that. We would not subject you to that.
Archie.
But yeah, no, we've done a lot of different costumes. I mean, to that end, I wouldn't necessarily know if I would use the term elite, but that's also because I'm studying language, and I think the term elite, there are a lot of people who hear that and then it's suddenly that I'm better than, and I don't necessarily like to go that route. But I do think that, as Guy mentioned, attention to detail is one of those things. When you truly love a character and want to bring them to life, little things down to, as Cyborg Katya, being able to put the cyborg makeup on, or when I cosplay as Rogue, one of the things I like personally with Rogue is her white streak is half of my attachment to her. And so actually this is a wig I'm wearing right now, but my hair is dyed. So I have naturally really dark hair and I have a white streak in the front front that I keep year long. And so it's one of those, whenever I break out into a rogue costume, of which I have about 7 of various variants, I've got the hair, I'm ready to go, and it's just one of those things where, as other rogue cosplayers, sometimes they'll use white clips, or they'll dye it and it'll be shades lighter than what their natural hair is, and it still looks amazing, but there is something about within yourself being able to say, this is the comic book picture, this is a picture of me, and quite frankly, I can't find a difference between them. And getting to that level, to that end though, getting there takes so much time. Personally, I remade my rogue costume at least 4 times. There's 4 different generations of my Jim Lee rogue suit. So the first entity of it wasn't that good, and I was, spray white hair, I sprayed a streak in, and it's one of those, as with every costume, you upgrade, you go, and you learn.
Mark
Exactly.
2, Mark 3.
Exactly. And so it's a great way to sort of explore also your own talents within the craftsmanship.
Right.
And just, some people are better with fabric, some people are better at making props, some people are better at buying things with a credit card. Sometimes just saying, it's down to things like this hat. I mean, I'll admit I bought it from an army surplus store, but to get this beautiful Russian hat and to have it look perfect, I just don't possess the craftsmanship to be able to do that. And so being able to sort of get it spot on with whatever your talent is, be it finding the material or making the material. And sort of that's what I love to see, especially when we come to a convention, you'll see, 8 Spider-Mans, but you can find all the different variants in the Spider-Mans and, some people, how they approach the craft. And I find that's a really great thing about the conventions, as everyone is really just displaying their craft as they walk around.
And even if you purchase the pieces yourself, you are identifying the most compatible pieces.
Exactly.
And thus,
it's still a process. I actually wrote an article for Geek X Girls, a website that I contribute to regularly, because lately with social media and various pages and the sort of ease of the internet, I feel that there has been a sort of elitism within cosplayers. Those who are expert costumers and expert models will put their skills to use and sort of make an elite status of it, where the idea of cosplay is there are different ways of how you come to a cosplay. And so I wrote basically 6 different facets of how you could make a costume. And so the first one was purchased, which could be around Halloween, any costume in a bag, generally one size fits all. That's purchased. Commissioned, where you find a seamstress, like this is commissioned from the beautiful Don't Panic. So she takes my measurements, we talk about the design together, and then she does it and puts it all together. From there, there's also altering. So I have a Pikachu costume that is originally supposed to be a sexy Wolverine.
okay.
And I basically morphed it into a Pikachu costume, altering pieces, adding ears and various pieces to that. From there, then there's also assembled. And in my opinion, this is the category that doesn't get enough respect, but is honestly probably a lot harder than making. Because you are assembling, you are searching the internet, stores, malls, wherever you can to find the exact right pieces for each piece of your cosplay. And that can take days, weeks, months, years, depending if you're looking for just the right thing. Whereas if you have the talent to make it, you go buy the materials, you make it, you can do that. And that's wonderful. So technically, to say one is, making a costume is also an incredible talent. And if you have the background, this education, the schooling to be able to do that, that's great. But some people are doing this as a hobby on the side. Some people are full-time teachers or full-time in other avenues of the world that you just don't have the time for that specific type of craft. And there were a couple other sort of factions in there that I can't remember off the top of my head, but just that idea of we're all here to have fun. And it's a great way to sort of, again, challenge yourself and find what areas of the craft that you want to really work on.
I agree completely. So I also want to mention the websites that you represent, since you mentioned your work and everything. Feel free to mention them. I'd be happy to support you.
Sure.
So for everybody out there.
Yeah, so 2 major websites. I have my personal website, which I'm primarily a Facebook user. So it's facebook.com/northernbellrogue. Northern Belle, because being from Canada and frequently portraying Rogue, being the Southern Belle, I thought it was a fun little twist.
Yeah.
And then Don't Panics is the same idea, facebook.com/don'tpanicCosplay.
Yeah.
And then a website that we all frequently contribute to, because he's usually part of my shoots, he's contributed some of his own work, and we do a lot in tandem, is Geek X Girls. So www.geekxgirls.com.
Sure.
And that's also a great website for anyone who has any sort of geeky avenues to keep tabs on. They take submissions from artists, be it visual artists, models, costumers, even geeky reviews, video game reviews, whatnot. They'll take all sorts of submissions and post them. So anyone can contribute, as well as the regular contributors.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that's great. Thanks for interviewing, and I wanted to know your names, by the way, before ending this. Yeah.
My name is Sky.
All right.
My name is Rogue. Yes, actually.
Cool.
I'm Tanis.
Okay.
And Pete.
All right. Thank you very much, and have a great con.
Take care, bud. Nice meeting you.